All right, so we heard 3 stories, and as it says over there, there's a PhD at the bottom. My work was not in body image. It was about obesity and weight management from a political decision making point of view, which just meant that I read an awful lot of books and papers and experiential stuff and research on issues related to body image. The most important thing that recurred today is self-care. One of my friend's moms said to her, when my children are ill, I must really eat properly. And the friend recently brought it up on her mother's birthday and wrote it on her Facebook wall. And I said, you know, your mom has said this to me as well. So the idea is, if you don't look after yourself, how are you going to conquer the world that you set out to conquer? But how do we learn self-care? We mostly learn by observing. When we are kids, my mother died when I was 4. So I have not grown up seeing a woman who's putting lipstick in front of the mirror. So I don't use lipstick. I have no sense of makeup. I have worked in a makeup company, no relationship with makeup whatsoever. But we learn through watching. We know that when we are ill, I hear these stories from my friends. Oh, I was ill and my mother was crying by my bedside. I don't remember my mother crying or my dad crying by my bedside. So how do we learn self-care? We learn through other people modeling the behavior to us. But what happens if nobody has modeled that to you? If the main female influence that you saw was a self-flagellating martyr, how do you move away from it? How do you learn? So I have an interesting book recommendation for you. It's available for advance order. It's a friend of mine, Tracey Cleantis, who's written this book called An Invitation to Self-Care. Her own story is quite affecting. This is her 2nd book. And I am quite privy to watching the book take shape, which is why I'm happy to recommend it. She spent over $100,000 getting fertility treatment, trying to get pregnant and have a baby. Then one day the penny dropped. Wasn't going to happen. So she decided, okay, what now? How do I change my life next? This has broken my biggest ambition, biggest dream. So she reinvented herself. And her first book was called The Next Happy. She had a contrarian message. Please quit while you're ahead, while you have still in it, still in you to do something new with your life, something creative, something wonderful. And in the process of writing that book, she came across a whole bunch of martyrs or wannabe martyrs who were her friends, who were doing all kinds of stuff which was anything but self-care, which motivated her to write this 2nd book. And this book contains a whole lot of tips on how to ensure your physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being on a day-to-day basis. So I'll give you a couple of my secrets. You know, in winters, people give up getting pedicure. I never do that. My nails painted are for me. And they are painted all through the year. I have perfected a 20-minute chocolate cake recipe. If at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday I want cake, by 11 o'clock I have cake. But that doesn't mean that I have cake every Sunday. But by giving myself cake every now and then, I keep that desire that arises from too much self-negation at bay. There are loads of things I do. I wake up at 4 o'clock. I like waking up at 4 o'clock, which means right now I should be in bed. But I wake up at 4 o'clock because from 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock, there's complete silence. I do whatever the hell I want. Because after that, if the day demands of me that I must go and help somebody, do this meeting, the meeting runs over, the trains are full, I'm serene. Nothing affects me because I have taken care of what I wanted to do first thing in the morning. So find that for yourself. What is it that you like to do for your own physical well-being, emotional well-being, psychological well-being, indeed spiritual well-being, and go to it. I would recommend the book actually. I have seen bits of it. I'm trying to wangle an advance copy. It's not working so far, but it's a great thing to have something like this in one place.